Hello. Tonight, I thought, because it's coming up to the end of October, we could talk about Samhain. Now, I have done a video about this before, and it was pure cringe. So I'm doing it again. I'm going to keep this in black and white because I think we're talking about ancient stuff, so let's just keep it old. So I've written a little script and it's got some information from different places just to keep me right. So I'm just going to read it to you. I have my glasses because I can't see properly. So curl up, get comfy, and we'll get started. Samhain is the division of the year between the lighter half, summer, and the darker half, winter. At Samhain, the division between this world and the other world is at its thinnest, allowing spirits to pass through and mingle with the living in this realm. It is one of the 4 festivals celebrated by the ancient Irish, which are Samhain, Imbolc, Beltane, and Lunasa. Ancestors were honoured and invited home, whilst harmful spirits were warded off by the people wearing costumes and masks to disguise themselves as harmful spirits so they could avoid harm. Bonfires and food were intrinsic elements of this festival, and every festival really. The bones of slaughtered livestock, which was a food source, not a sacrifice, were cast into a communal fire. Household fires were extinguished and started again from that bonfire. Food was prepared for the living and the dead. Food for the ancestors who were in no position to eat it was ritually shared with the less fortunate. Christianity has appropriated most of the ancient Irish festivals and Druidic beliefs. As with Samhain, this became All Hallows Eve, followed the next day by All Souls. The wearing of costumes and masks to ward off harmful spirits survived as Halloween costumes. When the Irish emigrated to America in huge numbers during the 19th century, and particularly around the time of the genocide in Ireland during the 1840s, the Irish brought their Samhain traditions where it became Halloween and morphed into something very different. In Ireland, as well as wearing masks and costumes, the people carved turnips into frightening faces to also scare the harmful spirits. But in America, this morphed into pumpkins because obviously that's what grew there. The origins of Samhain can be traced to a location. 2 hills in the Boyne Valley were associated with Samhain, Clachta and Tara. Clachta was the location of the Great Fire Festival, which began on the eve of Samhain. Tara was also associated, but it came secondary. The entrance passage to the Mound of the Hostages on the hill of Tara is aligned with the rising sun around Samhain. The Mound of the Hostages is 4,500 to 5,000 years old, suggesting that Samhain was celebrated long before the first Celts arrived in Ireland about 2,500 years ago. Again, the percentage of Celts in modern Ireland is very low. So whenever they call Ireland Celtic or talk about any ancient festival in Ireland, it's most likely pre-Celt. They were latecomers. All dates and estimates that are recorded in mainstream archaeology are bogus. People have been inhabiting Ireland long before they claim. You can just do research in the right areas about that, and always question the narrative. If the real information about Ireland and other countries was actually revealed, it would completely change the timeline. Samhain was and still is a fire festival celebrating harvest season and the blending of the 2 worlds. It's about connection with nature and our ancestors. It's about warding off evil, not inviting it in. For those who think Samhain is evil or demonic, they're incredibly uneducated and ignorant about the subject. do some research and you'll find out very quickly it's the total opposite. There is a poem that I have found that dates back to, I think, about the 6th century. It's attributed to Finn McCool, who's the legendary hero. This is preserved only in a gloss, which is kind of like a sidebar, on the word rain, sea, in the Middle Irish commentary of the late 6th century Amra Columkill. So that's Columkill, about Columkill, but it was written by a chieftain. This version is based on the almost identical text to be found in 2 manuscripts transcribed in the first quarter of the 12th century, the Levernhudra, which is the Book of the Dun Cow, which is named after an anachronistic legend that it was made from the hide of a dun cow by St. Kieran of Clonmacnoise. Clonmacnoise is very, very important. And the Bodleian. The language of the poem and the fact that it's included in the oldest copies of the commentary on the Amra point towards the 9th or 10th century as the date of composition, but I have seen about the 6th century as well. So it's called Summer Has Gone, and I will just read the English because my Irish is not up there. So, Summer has gone. Here's my story. Winter's come. Sad stag roars. Summer's gone. High cold wind, low cold sun, swelling sea strongly run. Rust red fern in disguise, speckled goose croaks and cries. Birds don't sing, songs of glory, ice-wrapped wings, that's my story. People have sung that, and they've explored that in different creative ways, and I think it's wonderful that we have something that's so old is still accessible. So I hope that you have enjoyed this very small insight. There's many resources out there that I implore you to look at. I don't know everything, but I know enough to get the gist of things and know that there's far more truth to be found. So I hope you enjoyed watching, and stay safe, and I'll see you soon.